Welcome to the debate. Today, we're diving deep into a really critical discussion around the evolution of large language models, LLMs, and what they mean for retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
Right. And the core question we're tackling is, does this ever-expanding context length in LLMs basically make RAG less essential? Or is it actually opening up new doors for RAG?
Exactly. I'll be arguing that RAG's role remains crucial, and it's actually evolving, becoming perhaps more indispensable in some ways.
And I'll be taking the perspective that, well, maybe its essentiality is being questioned by these LLM advancements and, frankly, by some of RAG's own limitations.
Okay, so my position is that RAG still holds a really vital and, as I said, evolving role. Its main value isn't just abstract, it's practical. Think about operational efficiencies like strategic chunking and pulling in information only when needed. This makes inference way faster compared to just, stuffing a massive document into an LLM. But speed isn't everything. RAG gives us transparency, traceability. You get an answer, RAG can point you right to the source text. That builds trust, makes verification possible. So bigger context windows, I see them as new opportunities for RAG to handle even more complex, integrative questions across huge data sets.
Okay, I see that, but I come at it a bit differently. Look, RAG definitely has its benefits. I won't deny that. But the sheer speed at which these LLM context windows are expanding, we're talking over 200,000 tokens now, easily. That fundamentally challenges why we needed RAG for long documents in the first place.
Challenges how, exactly?
Well, the LLM can just absorb entire documents directly now. It kind of bypasses the need for that external retrieval step RAG was built for. It's like the LLM is becoming its own library. And then there's the whole noise robustness issue with RAG. Its performance can be weirdly sensitive, unpredictably even, when you feed it irrelevant stuff. There's research showing that sometimes adding noise, totally irrelevant documents can actually counterintuitively boost RAG's accuracy. That doesn't sound like a robust system to me. It points to tricky integration challenges that maybe a big self-contained LLM just sidesteps. So, arguing it's universally indispensable? I'm just not quite buying that anymore.
I get the capacity point. It is impressive. But I think focusing only on capacity masks the inefficiency and the black box problem that RAG addresses. It's not just what an LLM can hold, but how it processes it and attributes it. RAG's chunking, the on-demand retrieval that gives you speed, and that crucial source traceability for verification. You often lose that clear lineage when you just throw everything into a giant context window. That makes it harder to trust, harder to audit. Especially for high-stakes stuff, that speed and auditability make a strong case for RAG.
But is that efficiency argument holding up? With the raw power of new LLMs improving constantly, doesn't the fundamental need for reaching outside the model shrink when the model can basically internalize everything, processing entire documents internally? It feels like RAG might be shifting from a core need to more of a specialized optimization tool. Maybe for very specific tasks, fine, but not the default for every long document scenario where the LLM could just synthesize it all internally. Isn't there significant overhead in managing RAG, the chunking, the retrieval layers, that starts to look complex compared to just letting the LLM handle it, especially as LLM inference gets faster too?
That's an interesting framing, the specialization idea. Though I'd argue the expanding context doesn't diminish RAG, it actually creates new challenges where RAG becomes even more valuable. Think about trying to synthesize, say, a decade of complex scientific research. Even a massive context window could struggle with precision without RAG's ability to precisely retrieve and focus on the relevant bits. That's where RAG shines, not as a crutch, but as a sophisticated navigation tool for these huge information spaces. Developing RAG for what you might call super long contexts, that seems like a key future direction, leveraging both technologies together.
I'm still stuck on the robustness, though. That noise issue I brought up, where irrelevant stuff can mess with accuracy or weirdly improve it, that points to something fundamentally tricky about integrating retrieved information. A truly robust system shouldn't be so unpredictable, right? It makes you question the whole retrieval and integration process. If adding noise sometimes helps, it suggests a kind of fragility. Large self-contained LLMs might just bypass that whole problem by processing information more directly, leading perhaps to more predictable, stable outcomes without the guesswork of retrieval.
Look, ultimately, I believe RAG's clear advantages, efficiency, transparency, and its sheer adaptability to increasingly complex tasks, they really solidify its place. It's an enduring, almost irreplaceable complementary technology for enhancing LLMs. Its evolution, like into multimodal RAG or handling these super long contexts, just proves its ongoing relevance.
And I'd counter that the growing self-sufficiency of these long-context LLMs, combined with RAG's own inherent challenges, the robustness, the integration complexities, it really does warrant a rethink of whether it's universally indispensable. It's becoming, I think, a very valuable, but perhaps more specialized tool in the kit, not necessarily the foundation for everything.
Well, I think what's clear from both our points is the dynamic interplay here. It's not necessarily one versus the other.
Agreed. Exploring different architectures, finding how they best work together, that's clearly valuable. It's a fast-moving field, definitely a lot more to explore and understand.